Every lap, every race, every bit of paint traded for every hard-fought place. Every checkered flag and trophy raised. Every ounce of dirt, sweat, and gears. They're all jammed inside every can of NOS Energy. Go ahead, open up a can.
Toyota qualifying night number 2 at the NOS Energy Drink Knoxville Nationals, presented by Casey's. Tonight's pre-race show brought to you by Midwest Sanitation. I'm Tony Bachhoven, Dave Reef alongside, and our first guest, let him hear you, Sheldon Haudenschild. So Sheldon, thanks for joining us tonight. You've got to be feeling really good after the night you had last night.
Yeah, definitely makes your week really enjoyable and a lot more fun when you can just get through your first night. And you know, that's why I like going on Wednesday as well. Just if you do have a good night, it's out of the way and you kind of get to enjoy 2 days and sit back and do a little bit of spectating and see what's going on.
I got to believe when you wake up this morning and it's pouring rain, you're thinking, man, I am really glad we went on the first night.
Yeah, really glad. and just hoping for a single file race, but I know it won't be. I saw him working the track. It looks great, and such a good job here. I think, you know, there's never a track here, I don't think. So, yeah, excited to watch tonight. You know, I really don't even care. Just see how it plays out. We did everything, and just see what happens.
You are so calm and cool and calm. I want you to take me through kind of the course of from the pill draw to what you drew to where you timed to what you were feeling before the heat race, because you move forward, then you move forward in the feature to be able to get those points. I got to imagine it's kind of an emotional roller coaster a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, honestly, it's only as big as you make it in your head, right? So, you know, me and Ripper been on the same page, and you know, the more you do this and do this race, you know, the less pressure it kind of feels. And yeah, honestly, last night just qualifying, I was pretty confident, and that's one of my weak points, right? I'm not really known as a good qualifier, and yeah, I'm kind of that 6th to 10th place guy, and lined us up good for that heat race. And I feel like once it comes race time, I'm on it and can go forward. So I was excited to start 6th in that heat, honestly, and kind of the perfect spot and get up through there. And again, in the feature, just put me 3rd row, and I'm happy and see what we got.
How long have you and Ripper been together?
Ripper's actually my brother from birth. No, me and Ripper, literally, I consider Ripper my brother. We hooked up a long time ago. He worked on my dad's car in 2009 on the R19 car, and he was a tire guy for them. And my dad talked him into coming to work for me and go race back home. And we probably only raced like 15, 20 times our first year. And you know, we didn't have any money. We didn't really pay him. We ate McDonald's every day. And yeah, and then he got another job and kind of went on, did his own thing. And I went on, did my own thing. And he was on the 18 car. I got to the 17 car. And it honestly just couldn't have been a better timing for our careers to kind of get matched back up. And I think this is our 5th or 6th year together on this team. So, and that's what it takes. It takes being together, figuring each other out, and yeah, just being together and doing it together.
Buddy talked about that with us in the pre-race show last night, that he and his crew have really gotten so close that a lot of times he doesn't have to tell them what he's thinking or what he's wanting. They already know it based on how he performed on the track.
Yeah, honestly, and that's how it goes. And you see it with Carson and Phil and David and Cody and me and Ripper and, you know, Kyle and Silva. You got these guys that are going to stay together, and that's why the competition is so high right now. It's not just these drivers out here. You know, there's only a select few guys that could make these things go around the track by themselves. And, you know, without these crew guys putting in the time and making these cars fast, the fans would not see the show that they're getting to see.
I want to go back to what you were talking about just a moment ago, because, again, most of us will never drive a sprint car. We just take everything on your word for what it is. And you said you're not the best qualifier. What are the important aspects of qualifying that maybe you're lacking to make everybody out here sort of understand why? Because you gas the hell out of it on a racetrack.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. If they know, come on and tell me.
If we knew, we'd have fixed it by now. That's the answer.
But It's a lot of things, honestly, and we've been changing. Our engine program's been changing the past 2 years, and the 2 years before that, it was kind of on the down. So we've just been working on that. And I mean, if you look back, honestly, when I first got in the 17, I think I quick timed twice at Volusia, and quick timed a lot in this car my first few years, and then honestly kind of got a little bit worse. And yeah, just figuring out your package. And it's so crazy how, I mean, it's motorsports, right? The engine's the biggest thing in the car, and that's the heart of it. And, you know, you heard Peck say it last night. He changes engines. Me and him are kind of on the same program, even though ours is a Chevy program. It's just figuring it out. And, you know, we're figured out with one engine, and we change, and it's so different that it takes another couple races to get your car good, and then the engine's ready to go back. So it's just staying on top of that, and see it with Donnie and his program, that the engine is so important. It really makes or breaks teams and how it operates.
How much input do you get to give back Chevy and the people that are putting your engines together?
We've been working with State these past couple years, and the 7BC has it as well. And yeah, we can give a lot of input, but at the end of the day, it costs a lot of money to make small changes on engines. So that's the biggest factor, right? It's not like you just run it one night, say, man, I need to change this. You kind of have to run it out. It's 10, 12 races, and then make your change, and hopefully that change is good, right? Because if it's not, now you just spend a whole nother rebuild and a lot of money to change it. And yeah, it's a lot of work. It's not something that just happens overnight.
How many engines are you guys carrying with you now in the trailer?
Oh man, I think we're up to like probably 7 or 8 Stantons right now. So yeah, a lot of them. And you know, we got different cranks and cams and injections and different
based on
rods.
Type of track, I assume, where you're going, big track, small track.
Yeah, so we have all different configurations, and you know, sometimes not really ideal. I think, you know, the 2 team probably has a more baseline engine program to where all their engines, they can race wherever they go, which is probably the most ideal setup. And you know, David knows what it's going to feel like every single time he goes out.
Let's jump off the racetrack. You're in the relax mode for the next couple of days. I want to ask you about the NOS energy drink commercials that we see. They look like they're a lot of fun. I guarantee they're probably not done in 30 minutes, but what is that process like, shooting those commercials and getting together with the entire NOS energy team and having what looks like to be an incredibly fun time?
Oh no, we have a blast when we go do them. And I mean, we've went to California, we shot at Irwindale and did the bugs, and I got to go out and I forget what it's called, but with Casey Curry and the Anderson brothers, go run the off-road trucks and side-by-sides with them. And this last one, we went to Charlotte, and it was a 12-hour day. I made 2 laps with my sprint car, and Sunshine, Colby, a bunch of them guys, they didn't even get to bring their cars or make laps. So a lot of work for a 30-second or minute commercial, and it's pretty fun when we get to go do them. And appreciative of it, because it costs a lot of money, as you know, to do some of these filming things.
So being a BMX guy, motocross guy, how fun were those off-road trucks?
Oh man, I had to go get the toilet paper a couple times. I did some crazy stuff. We were following each other, and I was wide open through the sand dunes out in California, and I did a big endo. And I think you could have seen the drain plug on my side-by-side. And that's when I cooled her down after that. I was like, all right, I'm not crashing this race car for him.
So did you go golfing? You said last night maybe you were going to go do a little golfing today.
No, so Richard invited me to go golf. That's on Friday morning, I guess. And then he says his back's sore. So he was trying to get me to find a partner. I said, Richard, I'm only going golfing to hang out with you. I didn't really actually want to go golf.
I don't want to interrupt, but did you check your rain gauge this morning?
No.
There wasn't anybody golfing today.
Well, look at it right now. It's perfect.
Well, he's sitting right here right now.
Hey, avid golfers, you'd be golfing right now, right? These are not avid golfers.
Well, they're Knoxville Nationals fans, so they're here. They're in the right spot. Well, take us through. We were talking about, you know, at home. What's the home life like? What's the one thing you want to be doing? We talked about moving dirt just a moment ago. Tell all these fans why that sort of is something that you'd love to do if you could ever get off the beaten path of the World of Outlaws.
Yeah, I got a lot of interest. Zan probably is not the happiest sometimes on my side quest, she calls them. But yeah, I want to buy an airplane. I want to get into flying. I'd love to get a skid steer and do some dirt work or do some rental stuff. But I really don't have the time. So right now it's just racing. But I have a lot of things in my brain I want to do. I just haven't got to do. But the flying's pretty high up on my list, and something I enjoy, something I've talked to Donnie a lot about, and Kenny Jacobs, and just something different.
Tell us about the race ready stuff.
Yeah, that's another side quest I got going on, and it's been awesome to see the support of the race ready stuff, and just something different, stuff that I would want to wear, and something that's clean, and doing a lot of different things. I got shorts and underwear, I got belts, just a lot of different stuff that I enjoy wearing, so I try and sell it, and really nice hats. My hats are all really good quality, and the support's been awesome. I just have to, the racing thing kind of have to focus on, so that's just one of my side quests.
At the Queen contest the other day when we were interviewing the girls at lunch, one of the questions we asked was, who's your favorite driver, blah, blah, blah. And it was amazing how many people, before they said who their driver was, they mentioned Gus or Pella. It's like, oh, so you're cheering for Gus or Pella, right? And Rico and Sheldon just kind of come along with the deal.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool, really. And I got Pella here in 2014, and best thing that we've ever had, me and Zan. Pella's family, and it's cool. Pella's dad hats, and it's pretty funny when the little girls come up and they just want to see Pella.
That's awesome.
Here we are into our final minute. Don't want to let you get out of here without talking about the race scheme this weekend, the colors, and how everybody comes up with that. How early do you begin that process of thinking about what you want it to look like at Knoxville?
I don't even remember how this.
Or should I ask Zan?
I think I was kind of in charge of this one. I don't remember, but we've worked with some great designers in the past, and Blackbeard did this one, and he's always done great stuff. And he usually just sends a couple renderings and can kind of pick one and then tweak it from there, and just something different. And it's hard to make the NOS colors look bad, so I think it looks great.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Gives people a reason to buy another T-shirt too.
And that Zan gets to have a little fun and do a shirt, and she did her Pirates of the Caribbean shirt, which was kind of cool, and turned out really good.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's got a good start this week. Second in points going into tonight. We'll see how it shakes out. Sheldon Haudenschild, give him a round of applause. When we come back, Rico Abreu will join us on the pre-race show presented by Midwest Sanitation.
It's ARP Fasteners for whatever you race. From 2 wheels to 4. Off-road, on-road, even water. From the flat track to the salt flats. Grassroots racers, weekend warriors, and pros alike trust ARP. Made in America quality, family-owned and operated. When failure is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com. No matter what you race.
And welcome back to the Knoxville Nationals pre-race show presented by Midwest Sanitation. Rico Abreu joins us now, race fans.
Hi, guys.
You are a gassing son of a bitch, man. You are something else.
I try.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to know. I mean, I love everything about you. Obviously, we were just talking about how I don't get out as much as I like to, so it's great to actually have this chance to meet. But, I'm watching everything, and you are working harder than most. And it looks like you're having fun. And that, to me, seems to be the key to your success this year more than anything. You're just enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely the enjoyment. I just think the biggest thing is, as I've matured in life, being 33 years old and the last 15 years racing sprint cars, full time, is I just have, really developed and just became into a natural comfort zone to myself and my personality, and just really connecting with the race fans and seeing the growth of our sport. It's been really fun to kind of be a part of all that, and it's just these races that we get to come to, these crown jewel events. We get to so much interaction with the fans, and I think that's what makes our sport so special is the connection that the fans have with the race car drivers, and they get to see them after the races and before the races, and then they get to cheer their driver on, as we go out there and compete. And that's why we all race hard, is for you guys. And I think that the more we show that, the more people want to be a part of something really special like this.
I was just telling Sheldon, and you may have heard this at the Queen contest in the interviews in the morning. We were asking them, well, who's your favorite driver? And almost all of them, of the 13 girls, led with Gus or Rico or Pella and Sheldon. And so then we'd ask, well, why do you like them? And almost all of them about you said, well, because we think he really likes us. And I thought, man, that you've developed an aura in the sport where the fans actually feel connected to you, and that's pretty hard to do.
I really just appreciate that one-on-one connection, and it just comes really natural to me almost. And I've been really lucky to have a 25-pound golden doodle that goes everywhere with me
that people love,
likes to see the fans too, and that he kind of breaks this barrier of any fan that's almost uncomfortable of approaching me to they can approach Gus and then say hello to me, or at the merchandise trailer, or get to see Gus. And Gus is just this ball of light that people like to come and see, and he's very approachable, and I try to reflect off of that myself and allow the fans to have an incredible experience at the races. And I just I think about that stuff all the time, and and understand how it's really, really beneficial for our sport that the race fans have incredible experiences at the races, and the kids have incredible experience, because the kids are the future of our industry. We want them to come back to watch the races, or turn on DIRTVision or Flow and want to watch at home with their family, especially during the weeknights now.
So let's talk about the 360 Nationals a little bit, champion. How cool is that for you?
Very special.
Absolutely.
Man, we work so hard at all this stuff, and when you really meet that accomplishment, it's a really special feeling, and it's hard to soak it all in, to be honest, just with how quick paced the week is, and running the Capitani Classic on Sunday. I didn't really stay out late, and I've just been really, really focused on the Knoxville Nationals, winning the Knoxville Nationals, and I feel like I'm really in the prime of my career right now, being 33 years old. The last few years I've been really close to winning the Knoxville Nationals, to racing one-on-one with Kyle Larson, really competitive race cars that continue to be consistent here at Knoxville. And my team, I've put a lot of effort into the crew members on my team, and just making sure I have the best prepared race car when it comes down to Saturday night. And last night was definitely a test to us, and a test to the integrity of my race team, and just getting behind the 8 ball in the heat race. But we qualified well and charged up through the heat race, and we're going to be probably sitting anywhere from 6th to 10th in points coming tonight after the feature.
Not a bad place to be.
I think that's definitely still doable, and everybody's confidence is definitely high. And our car is I got the best mechanic in the country working on my race car, and it's very a unique feeling going into Saturday, knowing that I have a team that believes in my ability to drive a race car, and we share those moments together.
You know, nobody has won the 360 Nationals and the 410 Nationals, you know. Think of the T-shirt sales.
This is the
no pressure.
Hopefully the year to do it. But I see myself coming back and continuing to support these races, and I honestly really enjoy. I camp right here in 3 and 4, and I spend the whole week in Knoxville. And yesterday I went to Des Moines, and it's the first time I left in the last 7 days. The facility here at the fairgrounds. I went to a Waste Connections facility, a partner of mine, and gave some tickets out to some employees there that are going to be here tomorrow night cheering us on. So, I just really enjoy the atmosphere Knoxville creates. I spend time at my merchandise trailer. My crew chief's camping. My team camps with me. So we go to the rec center and do our workouts in the morning, and just stay very consistent throughout the week on making sure we're prepared for Saturday.
Before we get away from the 360 Nationals, I want to ask you what it meant for you to get past and then pass Kyle back. I know you're great friends. He seems to be the barometer, but what did that specific moment do for you?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it really puts you in a position to know that you're capable of winning and you're capable of beating one of the greatest drivers of all time straight up. And I think that I was, it's definitely a confidence booster. And we have to work on our car, though, and get it a little bit better when it comes to race pace and the end of the races on the fuel load. The back, when we fill these cars up full of fuel with 30 gallons of fuel, and then we go race them as hard as we can. And throughout the race, the tires get hot, the fuel burns off, the back of the car raises up because the fuel load's burning off. Methanol is like 6 pounds a gallon, I think. And so you lose quite a bit of weight in the car, and you got to manage that throughout the race. The feeling of the car changes, and I think that just how we dissect this race is going to be the most important part for me on Saturday.
And that's before we ever get to the racetrack, which will change as many times as your race car.
Yeah, and you're fighting a racetrack that can change, or weather can change the surface, and but the Duncan
other
family
guys
does an amazing job with the preparation of this facility, and it's why I make it a point to come race here throughout the year.
It's got to feel pretty good, though, going into the weekend with Ricky on your side, right?
Yeah, Ricky is his attention to detail, to working on race cars, and he's really uplifted the two crew members. Brady Forbrook, Guy Forbrook's son, works right alongside him, and Zach Middlebrooks, who's a gentleman from California that's worked on my car for the last 5 years. So my team's going on 4 years, all of us together. This is going to be our 4th Knoxville Nationals racing together, and I think that really shows, just because this sport, there's lots of volatility of up and down of crew members moving around, and it's hard to find good people. Just the amount of work it takes to prep these race cars, let alone for this week, but 85 times a year we race and get to travel up and down the road. We're kind of a traveling circus when it comes to sprint car racing, but we really, really enjoy it, and it's it's something really special what we got going on right now.
And despite all that, you still find time to educate fans, doing things on YouTube. You smile, you bring the dog around. It's a gratuitous plug, but I'm bringing it up. Let's talk about your newest thing with the wine and the car and everything. That's an incredible set. What did you call it? It's not just a collectible. You called it what?
Yeah, so we, I've really tried to just uplift every
ladies. This involves wine.
Asset of my brand, from the merchandising, making sure that there's a story behind every item that the fans receive, and there's a connection between me, the merchandise, and when the fan purchases. If it's integrating Gus into that, my dog, or my family is in the wine industry, so we created these memorabilia boxes. I have this splashed wine all over my car, just to bring some light to my family and what they've done for my career in the support. And we did some memorabilia boxes, and it's probably a 12 by 12 box with a die-cast car, a bottle of wine, and a wine opener. And I just wanted to really create something special for the race fan. So the first one of one we donated to the Hall of Fame, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. It's going to get auctioned off on Saturday morning.
And that's not just a cardboard box either. I mean, that in itself, right?
It looked really nice.
It's very beautiful. It's got some red velvet integrated into it with the die-cast car and a nice plexiglass case, and a wine opener for any fan that purchases it to enjoy that wine.
So what's the rest of the day look like for you now as we get ready to go racing here?
I really want to go in and watch through 3 and 4 in the infield tonight. I really like to listen to the cars that come through the corner, and just to see, their percentage here, listen to the percentage of throttle and what lines guys choose in that feature and how the racetrack develops throughout the night. I think that's going to be really keen when it comes to Saturday night. 50 laps is going to be a lot of laps for a sprint car race, and then us to understand how quickly we have to dissect our car at the halfway break if we're going to put tires on, and just see what really the balance of the car feels, and I got to relay that information pretty quickly.
Well, folks, he's got a really good chance this weekend. He's won the 360 Nationals. He could be the first guy to win both 360 and 410 Nationals. Rico, good luck. A lot of people cheering for you, man.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Rico Abreu.
Pretty cool. I would have to agree.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate it. Going to take another quick break, and when we come back, Gio Scelzi will join us on the pre-race show. We'll be right back.
This November, dirt racing's most celebrated stars will shine the World of Outlaws World Finals. It's 4 huge days of racing and entertainment. All dirt roads lead to Charlotte as the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, World of Outlaws Real American Beer Late Models, and Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds collide. The World of Outlaws World Finals, November 5th through the 8th at the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Be there.
Racing is tough. It's not a sport for the weak, and the winning desire has to flow through your veins. Established in 1993 and only stocking top-rated manufacturers is why BR Motorsports is your one-stop shop when it comes to your sprint car and midget needs. Call us today at 1-800-328-3333 and talk to racers to get the right parts you need when you need them. BR Motorsports, the leaders in sprint car.
Presented by Midwest Sanitation, welcome Gio Scelzi to the show.
Giovanni, yes.
So, what do you prefer to be called, Gio or Giovanni?
My mom gets mad if I don't get called Giovanni, so it's Giovanni.
So the reason I asked, a couple years ago, Gibby said to me, hey, you got to call him Giovanni when you announce him on the racetrack. I'm like, really? And he said the same thing, that it was your mom's deal.
She's the boss. It's the truth.
That's right. So that's the rule. Giovanni it is. So, man, you've been in the news a lot lately. A lot going on in your life racing-wise and changing cars. So are you getting settled in your new home?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we showed speed off the bat. I would like to have started the race before 360s, but we ended up starting 360 Nationals, which it's tough with a 360. Your balance changes, obviously, an iron motor, so it's heavier. Your car's going a bit slower. So good way to get back up to speed. And then Sunday, we were obviously pretty good. So it gets tough, man. Things you don't realize that you're so used to with a previous team that you get to with a new team, and everything's different. So aside from the people and honestly how the car looks, there's small things with the cockpit, and every car is kind of built to their driver. So having a car built for me the last 5 years and jumping in for someone else has been tough.
When you mentioned that off mic here a minute ago, talking about fuel valves and things like that, steering wheel position, I never give that a thought at all, Dave. I don't know about you.
Well, as race fans, we certainly don't give that much of a thought. It's just something you guys do. But I used to say the same thing in drag racing when your dad was out there winning championships. As a crew chief, he can look at a top fuel car and be like, "Oh wow, look at that," and I could be like,
What?
It's a top fuel dragster. What's different about it?" So. What do you do, though, as a driver? Is it just when you get in, or do you actually take the time to make time to sit in that race car and just practice these things?
Yeah, I mean, I've got my driver cabinet kind of organized sort of how I want it. It was a quick turnaround. I drove to their shop the Tuesday before 360 Nationals and just kind of had a box full of all my driver stuff and threw it in the cabinet. Now it's kind of organized how I want it to be, and just the trailer's laid out a bit differently. And like I said, the cockpit stuff is the biggest issue. So you can sit in the car all day long in the shop till you get on the racetrack. That's when you kind of realize where the wing valve is and all the stuff you never think about before you kind of have to think about now.
It's qualifying tonight, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So what's the thought when you wake up this morning and there's been 2 inches of rain overnight coming into tonight compared to last night's track?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, kind of same weather conditions as last night. I feel like it rained from, early morning to about 11 o'clock. So, I mean, there's no racetrack I want to race at more that can handle the weather and know what the humidity is and the sunshine to get a good racetrack for tonight. So, Knoxville has it sorted out for sure.
I think that's one of the advantages, right, with the Duncans and everything that Absolutely. They do. They are pretty good at building a consistent racetrack, kind of regardless of what the conditions are.
Runner-up a year ago. Awesome. Different car, though. Sunshine's here. How much input is he giving you, and what is he telling you about that car that might be a little bit different than the KCP18 you were in before?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, his feeling for a race car is a lot different than mine, but we seem to have kind of gotten off the bat pretty strong. So, me and Jake, the crew chief, had talked a bit, and I'm like, hey, unload this thing exactly how you would unload it with Tyler. I don't want to change anything, and I will tell you what I feel and what I think I need. So we've been good off the bat, and it seems like their package somewhat fits what I want. So their motors run really well, but different chassis, different shocks, different wings. I mean, the whole package essentially is a lot different than what I've had before.
What's it been like to be a part of the NOS family now?
It's weird wearing a NOS polo, I'll tell you that. I mean, NOS has been such a big part of the sport in the last 5 or 6 years. It's cool to represent Lauren and the Marshalls and Tim Clausen as well. So I've known Lauren for a while, and I've known Tim riding their Chili Bowl a long time ago in 2018. So been good friends with them kind of up to this point.
The opportunity to get this, obviously, it worked out at the perfect time. Nobody plans that. You didn't make a change thinking that there was going to be something that came open like this. Have you even begun to look beyond what's going on right now?
I mean, pretty terrible time to quit. With Kings Royal and Knoxville Nationals, a lot of big paying races coming up. But, driving home Thursday from Eldora was a very emotional drive home. 8 hours, you get a lot of time to think, and stare at the road. And a lot of stuff goes to your mind. But I definitely want to be at a racetrack, and I didn't want to miss this race for sure. So, obviously, horrible, what happened to Tyler. Yeah, for sure. And, Tyler getting hurt, Reitzel getting hurt the next night, then Brad getting hurt. So 3 of the top teams in the country all were without a driver for a while. So I'm glad to see Brad's back. Didn't seem like it was that bad. He's racing again. But, yeah, just, I'm not a guy to be in plan A and have plan B looking for it. So I don't know what next year holds. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are really good with established teams now that don't look to be making a change. So, free agency is kind of scary to think about for a while, but I think something will come up next year.
Do you stay here for the short term, or do we start to think about selling a home and going back to Cali?
So living here or driving for this car?
Either one.
Yeah, I mean, I love where I live, and I love Des Moines. I love Iowa. I live in Grimes now.
Might be the first Californian that ever said that, by the way.
Man,
I love it here.
And that's another thought that crossed my mind. Driving home is like, man, I love where I live. I love my house. Like, made a lot of friends in Des Moines and around this area. So it's the first place I've lived outside home. So it has become a second home for me. And, I don't know. I mean, it depends. All the teams are structured differently, right? They want the team, or they want the driver around. They don't want the driver around. Just depends what the next team will want.
So second here last year, right? So what's the missing piece from last year that you're really focused on making sure that you guys can accomplish this year?
It's tough. I've started on the pole this race before in 2021 and finished 4th, and then ran 4th in 2023. And I felt like last year was really the first shot I had to actually fight for a win. So had a solid prelim and started 5th in the feature, and like you said, ran 2nd. So man, the 50 lapper is the toughest part because it really is 2 races. You can put new tires on, put fuel in, and you can really go as hard as you want. Both 25 as long as it doesn't rubber or tires don't come into play. But it's a very, very unique race, unique format tonight with a big invert in the heat races. So right now my focus is just time it good and get through the heat race.
How tough is that? Because, you know, Rico even talked about as the track changes, you go out with a full fuel load, you run 25 laps, now you got a full fuel load, but a completely different racetrack.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's hard. If you're really good the first 25, you don't want to change a whole lot, but you're putting new cold tires on. Your balance is always going to change from the first to the last 25. So, you know, these tires can be inconsistent sometimes. And like Kyle's won the last couple of races, I think, on the same set of tires. So I don't know if any of us humans could do that, but it's cool to see their strategy and kind of how they run throughout the race.
Sheldon started with us, and he talked about the importance of qualifying, the fact that he doesn't feel like he's a very good qualifier. As far as those two important laps that are going to come up here in a little bit, do you feel like you're a good qualifier, number one? Number two, what do you know about your car as a qualifying car? Is it a fast car for qualifying?
I think so. You know, Sunday was really our only shot to see how we'd be in a 410, and got a great draw going out the front of the second group, and I think we were second or third in our group. So it's tough. It's very, very nerve-wracking, and going that late, I feel like the early cars, there's kind of one lane you can run, and then once you go late, you got to decide bottom, top, one of each, and it's a last-minute decision for sure.
Sheldon maybe avoided the question a little bit. I'm going to try to ask you again. What are the keys to a good qualifying lap besides the foot down?
Man, I feel like this track is so line dependent. With the bottom being greasy during hot laps, sometimes going later that grease can blow off the bottom. Like 360 Nationals, I went out very, very late on my prelim night. I think I was 42nd or something, and was planning on just kind of getting my left sides in the bottom, not getting all the way down to the grease. In my warm-up lap, I went down to the berm and there was no grease. So it can kind of surprise you, and you have to be able to adapt. And typically, if you hit a good lap on the top and kind of get one in, you can go, you know, try around the bottom and see if you can get a good lap in the second one.
Brown told us yesterday that it took him a long time to get comfortable on the bottom here. How do you feel about running the bottom here?
I love it. I prefer it. You know, so I think it's easier to run the top. You can bail out and just kind of run around with your hair on fire up top, but it's honestly more mentally straining to run the bottom than it is physically straining. It's just hitting your marks, your perfect entry every time, not hitting the berm, not hitting those drains. So it gets tough down there.
Catch us up on what's going on with the family. How's the wild thing?
Yeah, my mom and dad are here actually. They
really?
flew in this
Are they
morning,
out here somewhere?
I don't know. I haven't seen them quite yet, but they landed this morning about 11 o'clock. Went to my house, dropped their stuff off, and they're here.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. How important were they through this process? I imagine with everything that your dad's gone through in the drag racing years. By the way, growing up with him at the racetrack, when you guys were born, it was kind of cool seeing him go through those experiences. Hey, my kids are born, both of them. It was really, really neat. But how big of a help was he through this?
Yeah, you know, when I told him there Thursday morning, he went into kind of dad mode and said, look, he told me a story, and he's like, don't make any decisions based off emotion. He said, you're very emotional right now. You're upset. You're angry. He's like, just whatever decision you make next, if you want to race tomorrow, you can race tomorrow, but don't ever do anything based off emotion, because he said, I've done that in the past, and it's bitten me in the butt. So whatever your next decision is, make sure it's calculated, make sure it's the right thing, and make sure it's what you want to do.
How cool is it when you see fans fanning when your dad's around?
It is the coolest thing ever. I mean, I remember being, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old, riding on his lap kind of on the mini bike, and we would ride through the midway and stuff, and fans would stop, and I'd say, Dad, keep going. Like, don't stop. I want to go to the motorhome. And it's cool to see people that recognize him, or people that walk up and say they're drag race fans. But Austin Proc's actually here, too. So we got a whole drag racing royalty family here.
Will they be down with you in the pits?
At some point, yeah.
What about Dom?
Dom, he's not coming. He has to work, he says. I don't really know what he does. But
What exactly does that mean in Dom's world?
No, he works for my mom, so it can be a very strenuous job.
We've got to keep your mom happy, right?
Exactly.
So somebody's got to stay home and work.
I think we're just about out of time.
Well, Gio, I mean, you know, a lot going on in your life, and focusing on the biggest race of the year and getting all that noise out of the way is not something that anybody believes is very easy. So good luck to you tonight. Get those 2 laps, knock them out, be in a good end of the night. So you can enjoy the rest of the week.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank all you guys.
Gio Scelzi, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Giovanni Scelzi, by the way.
Mom. Giovanni. When we come back from break, Brent Marks will join us on the show.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
I'm faster than you. Yeah, well, I'm gnarlier than you. I get more sideways. I'm louder. Much louder. I get wilder than you. You sure about that, bro?
Harder. Slicker. Cooler. Tougher. Let's go.
So what you got?
If your answer to the summer heat is let it rain, we're
join us at Toyota Racing.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series champion, David Gravel.
Get all your official David Gravel merchandise at track or online at shopdgr.com.
Looking for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
And welcome back to the Knoxville Nationals pre-race show presented by Midwest Sanitation. Welcome our next guest, Brent Marks, to the show.
King Brent, yes.
What?
King.
King. Yeah, right. HBO winner.
Hell of a
National
year.
Open winner.
Hell of a year.
I mean, the guy's won a lot of big races, which kind of led me to where I was going. These are all races that you won on big half-mile tracks. There's a half-mile track on the other side of this grandstand calling your name. What's it going to take?
Oh no, man! This one's a tough one for me. So, but we've had some great runs here. We've also had some really bad runs here too. So we just can't seem to find that happy medium at times. But we keep working on it. You know, just come out here, give it 110% every time, and go out there and just be aggressive and try to put ourselves in position. I mean, that's all you can really do at every one of these events.
What's the toughest component for you? Sheldon talked about being a good or not a good qualifier. Gio kind of talked about the same thing. Where do you find yourself in that?
I don't know. I feel like we can put down good laps here. It's just come later in the night is when we kind of struggle. And you know, I think a lot of it's just the type of dirt that's on this racetrack. The corners are so long. We've always been really good on half-mile stuff, but the straightaways are always longer than the corners. Here, it seems like the corners are longer than the straightaways. So it's just a totally different dynamic in the way you have to race this racetrack and, and finding a good balance in your car. And like I said, so I feel like we've hit it at times and other times we haven't. So we're just kind of like in between right now and just trying to dial it in. But, we're working on it. It's just something that, we haven't really hit on yet. But, I know we can do it. We've done it in the past. We've won these big races. We've competed for wins in all these big races. So.
And you've won a race here before.
Yeah, we won a race here. And, we were in good contention for, top 5 here back in 22. And even at the halfway break, we were running up to second there before the yellow flew. So we were pretty sporty that year. And like I said, we won a race too. So it's, I have kind of like a love-hate relationship with Knoxville at the moment. There's times I really love racing here, and then there's other times it's like, it's just really hard. But we'll keep working on it.
Well, that was kind of where I was going to go. So imagine you don't necessarily know where you're going tomorrow. You get with the guys, hey, what's next? Knoxville. Your first thoughts are what?
Man, I just want to be Knoxville Nationals champion. I mean, it's biggest race in our sport.
But what about this racetrack gives you hope? Puts instills fear. What specifically about this track do you feel like you're missing?
What I'm missing?
If you're missing anything.
Missing anything.
You struggle with it at times. It's good and bad at times. What makes it good? What makes it bad?
I know. I mean, I don't really. I don't
I
know
had
what
those
makes
answers,
it bad,
yes.
really. I mean, this place.
I mean, we'd love to have you come race with us weekly if you want to do that.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you.
We
So
try to
you
race
get some more
weekly
laps.
shows this year, but no. I mean, honestly, there's nothing bad about this racetrack. It's a beautiful facility. They do an amazing job here. The people here are amazing. You know, come to Knoxville Nationals every single year, and I think that's what makes this race so special is just the people, the fans. What you all do for our sport is amazing, and the support that you give us every week, but especially this week at Knoxville and every year. It's unreal, and it's really cool to see, and it makes me feel blessed to be able to do what I do and race in front of fans and you know, just the national and worldwide effect that this race has on people. It's just it's unreal. You know, being a part of the drivers' meetings for the A-Main drivers on Saturday, you know, just sit there and you get goosebumps just listening to people talk and how important it is to them, and then you start thinking about how important it really is to you, you know, because we race so many times a year and we're just on the go all the time, and you kind of sometimes lose sight of how important some of this stuff is to you. And so when you have moments like that and you get to sit back and listen to somebody else speak and you reflect on the importance of a race like this, it kind of puts you in your place. You know, it's very surreal. So you know, it's an amazing event, amazing facility. I'm just very blessed and proud to be a part of it every year.
It's interesting to hear you say that, because often, you know, we have lots of planning meetings about what should we do during the Nationals, what events should we have, and when we talk about the drivers' meeting as an example, you sit back and you wonder, how much do these guys really like that? Do they even want to do it? And so to hear that those things are meaningful to you guys is, I mean, that's really good to hear.
No, honestly, it's a very unique drivers meeting, something different. You know, we always have a drivers meeting at every event. We go to, and it's like, you know, same thing over and over again. You know, we just show up. But Knoxville Nationals driver meeting is just something totally different. It is actually really special. So at least for somebody like me, and I know it is for other drivers as well. And you know, the guests that you have speak every year, and what it means to them, and what it means to just the people of Knoxville, the sport, everything. It is very special.
So what did you do then last night to make sure you took that moment in to realize where you're at? Were you looking at last night's events from a racing perspective, or were you kind of just taking that moment to soak it all in?
No, I mean, just from a racing perspective, you know, I watched last night on the TV, and I feel like I could see better on there at times. So I did a lot of studying and how the track was changing and the lines that guys were running, and you know, if you went out early and middle or late, you know, what seemed to be the best, what worked the best for that driver in that particular time, and see what kind of passing there was in the heat races, if that's something that was going to be difficult. And just to watch how the whole race played out and just what guys were doing. So, I mean, you use those moments to study, and, you know, I feel like there's really only one time for me to be able to reflect on this event and it's in a situation like that where I'm sitting in that drivers meeting at Knoxville Nationals, A-Main drivers for Saturday. So it's just, that's just always the moment for me that, like, man, this is a really cool moment. And then after that, it's just, you know, business from there on out.
Business as unusual as you can make it.
Celebrate at the end of the night. You know, I mean, that's, you know, those are the moments that when you take it all in. So, you know, you know, we're here to do a job. We're here to perform, and you know, you just have to concentrate. You have to be involved in it as much as you possibly can, and not let a lot of the outside noise bother you.
A lot of special paint schemes this week. You've got a special one. Tell us about how you came up with it and what was behind it.
Well, yeah, I'm not a yellow person at all. So my wife brought up something earlier in the year. I showed her our design for this year and the mock-up of it, and she thought like a yellow stripe would be cool. And I was like, no, I'm not really into that. And then so I've really been into Formula One lately, and so I've been seeing a lot of like concepts on Instagram with Formula One and Ferrari, and they've had like yellow cars with like red accents. I'm like, man, that looks actually really cool in a Formula One car. I wonder what it would look like, you know, in a sprint car. So I had Heater Design draw one up, and I told her, I said, you know, the thing about it is like, one, it's got to look just right, but number two, it's got to be the right color yellow, because there's so many different variances of yellow. And yeah, we ended up doing it. And, once it was all said and done and put together and lettered up, I'm like, man, this is like really cool. I actually really, really like it. I even told my dad, I was like, Dad, I never thought, I'd have a yellow car sitting in a race car shop ever in my career. So, but no, it's really, really cool. I actually really like it. And then we went back and watched the race from Sunday at the Cappy and studied there a little bit, and just watching it on the track, I was like, man, this is really neat. So had a lot of people requesting it for the rest of the year and just to keep it, but I don't know if we're going to go that far. So,
I was going to say, what's fan response been to it?
It's been great, honestly. It's 100% like to the good. So I've multiple people come up and say how much they liked it, and even drivers and teams, have brought it up too, which is usually unheard of. So. No, it's a really cool race car, so I'm very happy with it.
Dad, girl, 3 of them. I got 3 of them. We have that in common. I know what my life's like. I don't own a race car. How do you balance all of that?
I just get grayer by the day. I don't.
Or do you balance it?
Yeah, man, I'm 34 and I have all but, my whole head's almost all gray. So it's just.
Wait till they become teenagers.
It's hard. I love them to death, but balancing a race car and your family and running up and down the road and racing with a series, it's very, very hard. But we do the best we can, and I get to take them with me everywhere, so I really enjoy it. Having them with it makes my life a lot easier to be in their lives and also be able to do what I love as well. So I'm very blessed to have them. They're definitely a blessing and just so cool to be able to experience the greatness of the sport with my family.
I promised I wouldn't make you late for the drivers' meeting, so we're going to let you go because by the time you get down there, it'll be about that time. So thanks so much for coming on tonight. We wish you the best of luck. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen,
everybody.
Brent Marks.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Well, Dave, we've got one night in the books. Another big one coming up tonight. A lot of factors with weather and all those kind of things. I'm pretty excited. There's lots of optimism in our guests tonight about how good the track can be tonight.
Again, it goes back to the track prep crew. These guys have really figured out how to make this a science. They know how to. Where were we last? Was it the Kings Royal that we had a little bit of rain?
Yeah.
And we thought, oh gosh, it's going to be 2 hours for sure. And the next thing you know, we're trying to plan out the rest of our night. 45 minutes. Seal the track over when they started working it out again. That's just how good these guys are. And so I don't care if it rained up until 2 o'clock this afternoon. I have absolutely all the faith in the world that is going to be another great racetrack tonight.
That's right, for sure. Yep. Tomorrow night on our show, we've got Carson Macedo. We've got Cole Macedo. I can't wait to talk to him about wreckers and checkers and wreckers and all that stuff. Carson McCarl and Tyler Courtney will be here with us on the stage tonight. But also an old TV buddy of ours, Dave Argabright, who's sitting right over here. I can't wait to hear about the Steve Kinser book.
He gave me a little kind of a preview of how it came together, just a kitchen table, Steve and Dave, and it's a wonderful conversation that is going to turn into another great best-selling book by Dave Argabright that can't wait to get my hands on.
Can you imagine waking up and going to go have a coffee and we're going to sit there with Steve Kinser all day and chronicle his career?
It's funny because as these guys, these legends get to be a little bit older, they kind of soften as they go. And when they get to those softening years, like where Steve's, I don't want to say he's soft, don't think I'm saying that. But they get to that point where they could be a little bit more reflective. I saw the same thing with Don Carlos, say the same thing with Bob Glidden back from the Pro Stock days. They become giant teddy bears, and that's when the stories come out, and that's why I'm glad there's a guy like Dave Argabright to be able to take all that in and put it down on a piece of paper.
Absolutely. You talk about stories. Last night, I don't know if you noticed, he had a TNN shirt on last night. Tonight, you've got a Knoxville Raceway Weekly shirt on.
Yeah.
You're dating yourself. You know that, right?
At this point, I accept my age. I consider it another lap around the world.
If you don't know, Dave used to be an announcer here at Knoxville.
Yeah, those are the good old days, left in 1996. I haven't got any 5s to 1s yet, but I'm sure they're going to come out here pretty quick. The old Channel 5 weekly racing show we used to do. But yeah, it was a TNN show from back in the TNN days when we were on. Does anybody even know what TNN is? I know a lot of these people do, but don't ask anybody who's in their 20s. They have no idea. And then tonight it was, of course, Chris Crone has been the guy that's revolutionized the video services around here. He's been the track guy up here for years. He's been part of putting it all in the suites, and he still continues to work for the High Limit guys, for the DIRTVision guys, wherever a great videographer is needed. He, of course,
he'll be there.
Yeah, he was a spawn of Greg Stevens, the late great Greg Stevens. Hey, how you doing out there, Greg Stevens? So yeah, this is an old throwback to the early '90s, and tomorrow I'm going to wear the Knoxville official shirt that I wore.
Nice.
the last day I was employed here in 1996 at the Nationals. So
that's going to be really cool.
It'll be neat, yeah.
Tonight, after the races, lots going on. Of course, you're all invited to the live press conference that happens in the show barn at the end of this concourse. As you leave the grandstands tonight, you're going to look down there, and it'll look like the place is on fire. But it's the Rube chicken feed tonight, the barbecue chicken.
Love that.
Tonight.
I missed last night, which is a shame.
That's one of the, I would say it's one of the remaining staples of the history of after race night life here at the Nationals.
Yeah, a lot of those.
If we could only have the bus ride back.
Yeah, the bus rides would be good. Absolutely. But if you guys don't know, the press conference, it used to be kind of in the little enclosed Dyer Hudson Hall right over here, was limited to just the media. It's been opened up. So there's plenty of seating in there. It's a little warm after the races, but if you want to let traffic kind of die down a little bit, have an extra beer, and get to spend a little time with the media members, it's a great place
and it's
to go.
really cool because you get to hear, you'll hear different perspective than what you're going to hear in Victory Lane interviews tonight. So Dave will be hosting that. It'll be live on DIRTVision. For those of you at home, you'll be able to watch that. So don't click off when Johnny and I sign off tonight. There's a whole lot more yet to come.
And tell everybody, and stick around. Don't get up. It's a beautifully cool afternoon now with this wind. We got 5 minutes, but it sounds like we're going to turn right around and have our DIRTVision pre-race show and get it back up to these guys, and we're going to have some more fun tonight.
It's going to be a big night of racing.
Big night.
Folks, thanks for joining us here tonight. Tomorrow night, Carson Macedo, Cole Macedo, Carson McCarl, and Tyler Courtney will be right here with us on the stage, the Knoxville Nationals pre-race show presented by Midwest Sanitation. He's Dave Reef. I'm Tony Bachoven. Thanks for joining us.
Are they related? I don't know.
I don't think so.